Hey everybody, how are you doing?
Hi.
All right, it is, what is it, January 21st Q&A.
Yes.
We got a whole lot of questions in the section in the community page where I've told you guys to put your questions. And then we also added some that were in the comments of videos that maybe came up quite often. And then that way we can just touch on those a little bit more so that I can help with any confusion that there may be. So I don't know if you've noticed, but we're obviously not in the shipping container or the RV.
Nope.
We have come to church where they let us do our dishes. And so we're gonna do our dishes, we're gonna do our Q&A, and then I'm gonna go ahead and edit and we'll get this out so that we can get it uploaded and watch it, and here we are. So I'm a little bit out of it because I'm sick, and so sorry. Got the cooties. Sorry that I'm not my normal goofy self, but what are you gonna do? All right, what's our first question?
First one's from Connie. Miss Connie, we love you, Connie.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes have those days when you become overwhelmed to regret starting this and want to walk away from it all?
So I don't regret starting it, and I absolutely do not want to walk away from it. Sometimes it's really, really hard to be filming it and slowing down the pace.
Yes.
To film it, to edit it. Everything takes 3 times longer. And I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am a workaholic. And so slowing things down has done 2 things. One, it's made me stop and enjoy the process. So that's really good side effect from that. And 2, it's made me slow down and enjoy the process. But I'm one of those that's just like go, 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 go and get 15 things done in one day. And so slowing it down in order to film it, in order, to have it make sense to you guys, I'm also one of those people that I'll bounce from thing to thing to thing. So I'll have 5 things going at one time, and I've had to like hone in on let's just do one thing and then move on to the next. So that's been a little bit difficult, but is also very rewarding. So I that's the only thing. I don't regret it. I don't regret doing YouTube at all. It's so I wouldn't put it in that, but that's the only thing that's like, if we weren't filming, we'd be way far ahead. But that being said, we're super comfortable, and I don't know. I really enjoy the whole YouTubing process too. So
do you ever feel overwhelmed? I think that's part
always,
of it.
all the time, always.
Yes.
All the time.
Like she says, we just want to get things done so we can get in that space and get heated and be, comfortable, but
be more comfortable.
We honestly, we have to make it last through the winter because we can't work outside right now.
Well, so. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could, we just don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were forced to, we would, but being that we are doing daily videos, you have to have daily content in order to do daily videos. So I know some people have mentioned in the comments that it's taking you forever to do da 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 da, but in reality, some other people that are doing shipping container homes have been working on theirs for 3 or 4 years to the point of move-in. Our goal is to be able to be in and just about finished space by the end of winter. So I don't know, I think we're moving along at a pretty decent pace. We're obviously not connecting to containers, it's just one that makes it a lot more simple and that kind of stuff. But I don't know, I feel like we're moving it along at a pretty good pace especially for new builders, new YouTubers, and old ladies.
New farmers for me.
Yeah, I'm
new homesteaders.
Not a new homesteader, but I am almost 50.
Me too. Any comments?
Carol?
Overwhelmed? Anything like that?
I was overwhelmed before I got here, so
So that's a
can't really say much.
normal place for you to be.
Yeah, it'd be weird if I wasn't overwhelmed. It'd be like, what's happening? What's happening? So
Okay.
I just roll with whatever.
She is good. She's good about that.
Nice.
Just roll with it.
Mary wants to know, how are the goats doing with the feeders?
They're doing great. Like I said, I had those at another farm of mine, my farm in Washington, for over 3 years, and they never broke. And that was with alpacas, llamas, sheeps, and goats. They basically eat out of them and then they leave them alone. That's pretty much it. Occasionally you have to swipe some poo out of them because animals. But other than that,
They just poo everywhere.
And they just poo everywhere. Other than that, it's just they don't bother them when they're not eating.
No, and even the end caps popping off really doesn't affect it at all.
It's not a bad.
They're
The
doing
only
fine.
thing I like about the end caps is it does keep it a little bit more stable. And I do like doing those shorter sections. So those are 5-foot sections. It gives it a little bit more strength. But really fast, inexpensive, doesn't take up a ton of room inside there. If we built a big wooden thing to, put their grain and their hay in and all that kind of stuff, it'd take up a lot of space. And the chickens would get on top of it and poop. So then it would be a constant cleaning thing. Where with this, they don't get on, the chickens don't bother it, they don't get on it. It's really easy to shift up as their layered bedding gets higher up in that space. So I know someone had commented that we needed to build a real feeder, and you just go do that at your homestead, because this homestead's fine with the gutters.
There's one downfall that you talked about.
Which one was that?
You have to go in.
Yeah, you
First
have to go in. So those goats are getting 3 scoops of grain a day, and we have to go inside to pour that in. So, I mean, downfall, yes and no. It's really, it has made it either a 2-person job, or we just need to get a larger bucket, but you go in there with a bucket and then they're jumping on you and they're trying to shove their heads in there, and they're pretty strong. Like when they get their head in a bucket, they can drag it all the way to the ground pretty fast. So, pretty easily. So, that's pretty much the only downfall that I would say. And that's not even that big of a deal, since we all pretty much do everything together. I mean, Kira's been picking up a lot of the slack with doing the feeding and stuff because I'm sick, but usually there's a couple of... You have to.
I have to throw that out there. I do things.
She's been babying me because I'm sick. Like, made me chicken noodle soup, this is my favorite, and all those things.
Let's see. LB says they haven't been watching your videos so that long, so you might have already answered this, but
it's okay. People ask us the same question over and over and over again.
they wonder if you have done repairs. Sorry, LB, I don't know if you're a girl or guy. They wonder if you've done repairs or building things all of your lives.
So my grandfather built houses that people live in that are still standing. And he passed some stuff down to my mom, and my mom obviously passed some things down to me. But I would say that I am a very beginner person. I did build a pole barn in Texas. I've put in a couple of decks. The pole barn is still standing 20 some odd years later. But I definitely would say that I've never built a house, and I learn every time I do stuff, but I'm really new, so I still do a lot of research before we get started on something.
I have not touched any of this.
And while we're doing something, while we're building. I hate to ask, but can you grab my drink? My throat's getting super... Thanks. Should have prepped beforehand. It's like I'm new and I haven't done this before.
I helped build. My mom's husband is a electrician, so He likes to remodel, and he likes
Well, and he worked in a cabinet
that too.
factory, store, place, yeah. He's got a lot of
So
skills.
I learned a few skills from him. Some of them I already kind of forgot, but I'm a big tinkerer. I'll take things apart and just put them back together, or I'll see things that look like a puzzle, and it's like, ooh, I'm just gonna do this. And so it's like, how'd you do that? I don't know. I'm a picture person.
Yeah.
No words.
Kim?
Not me. No, I've never really done anything like this. So
Never
this
done
is
it.
like homesteading and building and photography or videography. All of that is brand new to me. So
Brand new. Nice.
yeah.
So we're all learning lots of new things.
So this is one of my absolute, I think, favorite questions.
Yeah.
Russell, probably the least asked question, but the most sought after answer. Why?
Why? Why what?
Why do you do this? Why are you building? Or why are you videotaping? I guess is the question.
Well, the videoing, the YouTubing started because my grandkids are very young, and this is a way that they can go back and see this land that they are probably going to inherit at someday. How it started, what it started, and all that kind of stuff. So I would have loved to had some videos of my grandfather doing what he did. So that's kind of why it started. And then also I had a whole lot of friends of mine that were like, you know, Heather, you do all kinds of things. You should YouTube and inspire other people. So,
And she's funny. Like, she is so funny.
we have to edit.
You all know
stuff
this.
out.
We all know this. She is so funny.
So, you know, that's the why to that. Homesteading, that's just in my bones. Like, I've always wanted, when we didn't live in the country when I was a kid, I dreamed of being in the country. And, you know, I've always was like, I wish I lived in the pioneer stages, and I would have loved that. But this is my 5th farm. And so that's just why on that. So I hope that answers the why. If it doesn't, comment below, let me know.
Is that why I refer to all of them?
Sure.
Why are you here? Why did you do this?
I liked her cooking and her personality for starters.
Poor Kira, I haven't cooked anything in a long time.
Kim's a really good cook too.
Not Heather standard, but it's okay.
I'm sorry. But
Once we have a real kitchen, she'll see.
yeah. But I enjoy ranching. Farming's not my cup of tea. Plants die when I touch them, so I gave up on plants. I work better with animals. But my mom started to do farming sort of things when I was in middle school. We used to live on a horse racing ranch, and I loved the horses. They were so cool. But I didn't get into ranching until we got the goats, and I liked playing with the babies. I liked how funny the animals were. I also liked the physical work I had to do because when I was still in school, I was in sports, so that burned off a lot of my energy. The moment I stopped sports, I needed some way to burn off the energy, so ranching helped.
So is that why you're doing it with Heather? That's
Yeah.
the question. Why are you doing it with
I'm
Heather?
doing it with Aunt Heather because she seems a little more organized than my mother and a little less all over the place. She does forget to say things out loud, so we're all like, what are we doing? And she goes, I thought I told you. No, you said that in your head then. But
What would you be doing if you weren't here?
that's better left unanswered.
Okay, Kim.
Why?
Take it
So,
away.
Let's see. Why? Why am I here? Well, you know, I was doing the daily 8 to 5, well, longer than that grind. And, you know, Heather said that she was doing this adventure and she needed help, and it's just her. And with everything going on in the world, I was done with work, and decided to just, you know, take out some money and come and do this adventure and help her and
Take a break from
yeah, like take a break
nursing.
from the stress,
Yeah.
stress, you know, nursing, I really like nursing, but with the pandemic and everything, it just got a little too crazy. And it's so nice to just, wake up with the sun and, and just have the great outdoors and have good friends. And I mean, like, her personality is,
We have to just laugh.
we get along
play,
really well.
yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah.
That's why for me.
Another thing is her personality did draw me in. It's like,
Yeah, she's a good peeps.
she has the aura of we follow you. So be followed. Like
That's
I'm not
funny.
a leader. Those two are probably. She's probably a leader, but
She's a leader.
Definitely
No,
a leader.
Yeah,
She's
an
an
alpha.
I'm an alpha.
I'm not an alpha. I'm not at
I'm
all.
something.
Definitely an alpha.
I'm something. So I'll be like, I will follow you to the ends of the earth. If the apocalypse ever happens, she's like, I'm glad I have you on my team. It's like I might have to abandon you for like a few
Okay,
days.
what's our next
I
question?
just think the three of us mesh well.
I do too. I agree.
I do.
The Youper. Hi, Youper. She wants to know the Youper Gardener.
I'm sorry, your name sounds adorable.
It's the name of her channel.
Yeah.
Yes, it sounds adorable.
When you had your large pantry, did you cook 100% from scratch? And what are your pantry plans when you can work on that?
Yeah, I am a 100% from scratch person, and so is Kim actually.
It was amazing.
This is being in the RV. I would have to say that is the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest challenge of being in the RV is not being able to, wake up and make homemade bread and do all of those things because you just don't have space. You don't have, in my RV, there's not the space. We don't have a center island. We don't have any of that. It's just a small RV. So, when I'm back to having the time to do that kind of stuff. I used to weekly prep. So I would weekly prep of what was going to be on the menu, and then I would, make all the condiments and all the breads and, all the things that went with that. I would make from scratch to have for the week. That's one of my joys is cooking. So I'm excited to add the growing most of everything that I can grow. If I can grow it, I'm going to try to grow it.
Yeah.
So, excuse me.
Her cooking was amazing.
My water is making me burp. Sorry.
And home cooked is so much tastier.
So much better.
Like we, Heather and I both have this problem. We'll taste something, we'll be like, nah.
Yeah.
It's a boxed or a,
Yeah.
mix or what have you. It's just not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
My mom didn't do a lot of homemade from scratch cooking, so when she came and she made everything from scratch, I was like, and I'm a picky eater. She's like, just try it. It's like, okay, I know I'm not gonna like it. This is all mine now.
It really is very, like for instance, blue cheese. I detest blue cheese unless it's made from scratch. And blue cheese dressing, if it's made from scratch, then I like it. So it's just those kinds of things.
While we're on the subject, the next question leads right into that.
Okay.
Mary wants to know, how do you make mayonnaise, homemade mayonnaise?
You basically just take an egg and you put it in there and a little bit of salt, and I'm pretty sure it has a little bit of vinegar and then oil, and you whip it.
Whip it good.
I would say Google it. Maybe once we get to that point, I'll do a video on it, obviously, but that again is really tasty, homemade.
I hate mayonnaise,
From
and the
scratch.
mayonnaise is so
So
amazing.
good, yeah.
I have not yet had homemade mayonnaise, so
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant.
And I think that's why the homemade coleslaw is so good. That and the crispiness of the cabbage.
But I am picky on my mayonnaise. Like in the store,
Yeah.
there's only one brand I like. So I won't say it just because
Because they're not
sponsoring us.
sponsors.
Yes.
Her coleslaw is amazing, people.
Good stuff.
Mary also wants to know, were you able to redirect the melting snow from going into the living room?
Well, we did scrape it all off, but there was ice, so the ice had to come off. And I just peeked up there yesterday, or the day before, and that's all melted off. So now it'll be time to pull that up and put that flashing down so that will pull that away.
Yeah.
And then it'll be fine. And actually, what we'll do is I'll get some of that really good clear caulking and I'll put that behind it and that'll all glue in, and then the metal will come down, but it's not coming off of the building that's getting down under there, it's what's on the actual deck. And someone did say that's why you don't make a flat roof. Well, I don't know if you understood this, but that's actually a deck, not a roof.
Yeah.
So it's a deck that covers a walkway, but it's still a deck. So it's going to stay flat. That whole area is going to become a deck over the shipping container all the way down to the end. On both sides will be a deck, so that there's room up there to, you know, to do stuff. So I need slides, I need zip lines, I need all kinds of things coming
Yeah,
up.
all these fun things.
So I have grandsons.
This question is for Kira. Mary wants to know, how is Bob the cat?
Bobby's doing great. We all had a serious discussion about his meow. I thought it sounded so sophisticated. I was like, how does it sound sophisticated? He sounds like a little baby kitten or something so big.
No, but Heather did a sophisticated meow. What was that?
Meow.
Kira almost had her drink coming out her nose. It was hilarious. I wish we would have got that on. I wish we had video on us all the time. You guys would be like shocked. It is so much fun.
But he's
Editing really would take forever then.
Yes.
he's doing good. He seems to like.
He gets to come in the RV now, every
Yeah.
now and then.
He likes her better.
I don't know if he likes me better.
Yeah.
He likes sitting on that shelf thing,
That
and that's
too.
near where I sit.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what that is.
He likes to be high up, you know,
Yeah.
because cats, that's
Well,
what they are.
because Justin's rude and likes to sniff him places he probably doesn't want to be sniffed.
Yeah, but he's doing good. He's really cuddly and really judgmental. I'm thinking of getting him a new sweater one day.
I think he's ready to head outside.
I do.
He
I
really
think
wants to.
He's
wants to be outside.
normally an outside kitty.
We're still working on that.
All right. Ron wants to know, have you thought about using, so we've had this question a lot actually. So not just Ron, but there's several other people. Have you thought about using those straps or cleats on your boots?
Ron, first off, I don't think. Ever. About anything.
It's a lot of brain power.
We have
hard.
looked. We have looked and looked and looked. Everybody's closed.
They're
Everybody's
sold out.
sold out. So
I mean, we did see this sweet old lady in front of us that had them on her shoes, and
yeah,
you know,
we're like, oh, where'd you
dang,
get
where'd you get those?
So if you have some in your area, send them to us.
Yeah, mail them to us.
We'll be happy to
That'd
take
be
them.
great.
And regular cleats, it's too cold. You couldn't wear like
No.
baseball cleats or
No,
anything like that.
that's a great idea though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could get some that were really good insulated or
Yeah.
something, I don't know how you could do that, but I mean, that was a great idea and that would work other than the fact that your feet would freeze because that is just ice. And I can just imagine those, I guess those cleats coming up through, I don't know what the inside of those cleats look like with that
Yeah, no, they're
metal, like it's, I don't know, but that's a great idea with the metal cleats.
We could also try getting a good sized board, take some nails, hammer it, and just tie the boards to our shoes, and that could work.
We could
We could
MacGyver
totally
it.
do that.
We
We
could
could
MacGyver it.
totally MacGyver it.
All right, moving on. You know, we're strapped for time. We
We
gotta
are.
keep this going.
There's a lot of questions, so we have we try to keep these at an hour.
Yeah.
I think we're already at like 24 minutes.
So and while we're at it, we're taking the questions from the community page first. So
Yeah.
we're gonna address those and anything else that we can, we'll try to in the time allowed. So make sure you post your questions on the
Yeah,
community page.
if you really want them answered
On that
in
question.
this section, you know, in the Q&As, then definitely post them in the
Before Friday morning.
before Friday morning, because that's when we try to put these together so that we have time to edit them and get them uploaded.
Sandy said, you seem to have a lot stored inside the shipping container, which is in your valuable waste. Some of this is being insulation for the other rooms. Why not put that up first to get it out of your way?
You're not wrong. I can only do so much.
It's a puzzle.
You know, the thing is it is a puzzle, and you know, I don't have a garage to put everything in. The shipping container used to be my storage space, so I no longer have that. I can't just leave those things out Yeah, it sounds great. Just throw it up, no big deal. But there's 15 things that are there that need to be put up. So you might as well just do it the way you're supposed to do it, in the manner that you're supposed to do it. And, you know, people in the comments, they kill you when you do something out of order or, you know, you move away from one thing to get to another. You know, it's just a shifting game, and that just is what it is.
Yes.
In a perfect world, I would have built the garage first. We would have had everything in the garage, and we could gently be pulling things over and have a perfect clean workspace and, you know, a little work table in there and all of those things, but we don't have that because it's not a perfect world.
Do any of you think it's a perfect world?
It really is. I'm just doing the absolute best that I can, with adding the 6 hours that it takes to edit a video and get it ready to be posted.
Which Heather does all herself.
I do all the editing. Kim does 99% of the filming. Occasionally I'll grab it and do it here and there. But so after the work day, you actually have the work day, and you have to prep for that work day, and then you have to stop, and then you have to edit, and then you have to come into town to get the video loaded. So there are battles that we have chosen to address, and there are battles that we have chosen to just say, it's just going to be what it's going to be, and that happens to be one of them. So
yeah.
I'm not a part of that battle. I just go along with it.
All right, Mary wants to know, how do you make homemade mustard, and is it yellow?
it is yellow.
I know.
Because mustard, they have the mustard seeds and the mustard powder, and the mustard powder is very yellow, so it creates it all to be yellow. And basically it's been a while since I've actually made it, so I'd have to look at the recipe.
Vinegar and
I use the non-alcoholic Odell's beer, and then you cook it in that. So it's so good. I'll have to post the recipe or send it to you or something.
We may have to start a cooking channel once we get this all.
I actually have a thing already reserved for a cooking side.
Yay.
Because I know people want to see building, and then the building people don't really want to see the homesteading stuff. I mean, I get this is because we can farms, but those of you may not want to see cooking stuff that are here for farm stuff. So I don't know, I just kind of decided to make a separate channel for that, and once we get the shipping container done, then I'll probably start uploading videos on that.
And she does try to do videos based on, you know, this one's more for our people that subscribe and watch,
Right.
and then these are more for people who want to see build and
Right.
our newer
Right.
subscribers.
Yeah.
So Mary wants to know, do we still have the ducks? Yes.
Yes.
We picture them a few times, but
We do.
in the snow, they poop everywhere, and
It's
it just
just-
looks so gross.
It's so ugly.
So we just don't show a
In
whole
the
lot.
spring, we'll be setting up a whole duck area that has a swimming pool and all kinds of stuff. It'll be really cool to see and do. And I know a couple of people have asked about, you know, fruit trees and stuff and that kind of stuff. I do plan on having an orchard, and the duck area, the swimming pool will drain into the orchard to fertilize and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be setting up a really cool thing.
Simon with 50 Shades of Green wants to know, what do you intend to do with the rest of the space on top of the shipping container?
It'll be a deck.
It'll be a nice, beautiful deck, seeing that wonderful view.
And it'll have a swirly side, maybe a zip line coming off of it,
And I was saying we should have a suspension bridge that goes from the top of the shipping container to her big house that's going to be in front of it. And she's like, who's going to take the snow off? And I'm like, it's a suspension bridge. You won't need to take the snow off. It'll shake. It'll shake in the wind. We're all big kids. Okay. Let's see. Sandy Daniels. She sent a package to us before Christmas.
Did.
And yes, Sandy, we did get it.
We did, and our toes are very happy.
They are.
So thank you so much for that.
We haven't got all the videos out of us opening presents
Yeah.
yet. So we do greatly appreciate it.
I don't know if we've hit that. It's just been so long after Christmas since they were Christmas presents, but I don't know. I need to go through and we filmed it wrong. So we filmed it so it's really difficult to do instead of it being easy to add opening the gifts. We should have made each opening its own video, and we didn't. We did one long video. So it's like an hour long, and I have to go through and pick it. It's just hard. So I haven't been adding those on.
But we appreciate
and I feel
everybody.
bad because I know that I would want to see somebody open a gift that I gave them, you know, but it's just,
Or at least know that we got it.
we got it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, thank you for putting
Yes.
a question in there.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah. Katie wants to know, do we grill out?
Yes, but not in the winter time. And that's probably a first for me because I've always had a covered area where my grill is at, and so I could grill all year long. This is kind of the first, but I do everything. I make bread on the grill, I make pizza on the grill.
She makes
I
the
make all
best
kinds of
pizza
stuff
on the
yeah.
grill.
And I smoke things, but not on the grill, in the smoker.
So Janet wants to know, this question a lot of people have asked, are we related?
No.
No, we're best friends. We met
Yes,
in the
we're
military.
God's children, and therefore we're related.
We're sisters in Christ.
We are sisters in Christ.
But we were in the military together, and so we've just been best friends since we were 18, 19.
Yeah.
And Kira is the daughter of a friend that was in the military with us
Right.
as well. So we're
Yeah.
adopted. Family.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
We're a spin the wheel and see what you get kind of family.
So I'm her honorary aunt. She's her honorary aunt.
To be fair, I dated her uncle for 5 years. So.
And I know a lot of you want to know we are not in a relationship.
No.
We are not.
No.
That's why we want the
We've both been married. We both had husbands. We both have babies.
That's why we want a tall shipping container. So we can get a
Tall
boyfriend.
husbands.
Right. All right. Moving on.
That's so awkward, but like we get those things.
A
and
lot
it's-
of people
It's just
wonder.
It's just awkward.
Okay. Jean wanted to know why we don't have chains on the road to pick up.
We do
have them. We, so the stores were getting sold out of things, and especially in our area because the snow. I mean, we got what 3 feet of snow altogether.
Yeah, but when you bought your chains, the first set of chains, it was literally the only set of chains.
Yeah.
And then when we went and got the second set of chains, it was the only set of chains for her tire size.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem. It's like you can't. You get what you can when you can.
Right, and it's not like you just would. I mean, I guess being in the area, we should have chains for all 4 tires, but none of us have ever lived in this kind of snow before, so that's a new thing. And second, my little baby car got up with her little baby car chains all last year, most of the way.
You said it was a lot milder.
It was
last year.
much milder last year, so.
So there's a couple of things that we're gonna do with Samson. The front of Samson has nothing you can hook up to.
Nothing.
So maybe putting a new hitch with what are those hooks on them?
Yeah.
Or even one of
Well,
those.
somebody was saying that you could weld a bar all the way across.
Yeah.
And then you can add a hitch on the front so that oh, my brain.
Yeah. The winch.
The wench.
Arr. The winch.
That the wench could sit on the front or the back, and I really liked that idea.
I think that's what I want to do.
And then you can have the removable hitch so you don't have a ball sticking out of the front.
Yeah.
So I really liked that idea. Whoops. Camera down. Phone down. Phone down. And I might end up doing something very similar to that on my truck. Yeah, we can do that. So there's like a whole lot of things that people have brought up and kind of mentioned that were great ideas, and we appreciate it. We have stuff in the back of the truck, and we use the truck as a truck a lot. So putting a whole bunch of sand or something like that to add weight is just really not a feasible idea. Plus, a load of sand or a load of gravel, it would freeze. So that's also a problem.
The gas mileage.
The gas mileage was a really big.
Gas is one of our hugest
expensive.
expenses right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
adding anything that would cause, yes, we put out the video about us getting stuck, but that's pretty rare. It's actually really rare that we get stuck. I think we've been stuck 3 times this year.
Yeah.
I feel like 4.
2.
It's
Three.
I think it's been three times this year,
3.
maybe 4. That, and only once we really needed someone to come help us.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, kind of twice. No, we figured.
no, because we got it out of there and got it down the hill,
Yeah.
and then he did the snow removal,
That's true.
and so we were able to do the truck. But to actually have the truck pulled out
Once.
has only been once. So,
To be fair, I kind of drove into a snowbank, not
Right.
on purpose.
well, I mean, and that was with just one set of chains, and now we have a 2 set of chains. It's really working fine, and I really don't see that as a problem. But we do have the those grab black. What are those things? Those black.
Oh, the treads. The tires.
treads. No, not the treads. What is that called?
Yeah, I think it's a flat tread that
Yeah.
you put before.
They don't work well with the truck because the tires grab them and throw them out because they're brand new tires, and so they don't work well with the truck. They did really work well with a car, but other than that, with the truck, they don't work well.
Yeah, and my tires are like thick, made for mud and snow,
and they're brand new, so there's
Yeah.
no worn down on them at all.
I mean, it's the chains get stuck in the
In the
tread. That's
tread.
how big the
Yeah,
tread is.
yeah.
So let's see. Have you tried rock salt?
No, because the salt will kill the vegetation and in the spring, and we don't want to do that. So it's actually a really big issue for the neighborhood. Nobody wants salt used. Next year, I'm planning on setting up my F350 with the blade on the front and a desander or spreader on the back, so that we can either put in a product that won't kill the vegetation, that's safe for the wild animals in the area. We have a lot of deer, we have moose, we have all kinds of birds, turkeys, quail, everything, and we don't want to kill any of them. So if we have to walk up and down the hill so we don't kill them or kill out the vegetation, then that's what we'll do. But
We've had some great suggestions about mulch from trees and stuff, throwing that down, or fertilizer.
the fertilizer I had not heard, and I don't know how that would affect it. But that I don't want to do anything that will affect the gravel on the actual driveway, because I spent a lot of money on that, and so that's a real big issue also.
And the only time we'd want to go after any of the wildlife is when it's proper hunting season.
That's true.
Joan suggested that we make a couple off-road stations so we can pull off the road and carry supplies and keep sand and such there, but
That's a good idea, but that's not my property. I have
No.
an easement through that. It's not my property, and I think that would maybe upset some people, so we really can't do that. We really have to be self-contained, so if we need it, it needs to be in the truck, kind of situation, so.
And that truck really can only carry so much, because it's got us, it's got our stuff, it's got our
Well, and then if we're out and about and we say, hey, let's go to Home Depot and get 2x6s, we need to be able to load the 2x6s
Yeah.
and put them in the truck. And which has happened multiple times, so, that's a pretty big, that's why we don't want to fill the bed of the truck with anything, so.
Right. Here's another one about salting. Russell wanted to know about salting the driveway. Here's where he said repurpose tree mulch was the other suggestion. So, great suggestion.
I haven't seen anywhere where they offer that here, but I also don't want to cover up all the gravel. I personally, my half of that driveway was $18,000, so I'm a little picky about what goes down on it, because I had to pay for it, so at least half of it. So I don't want to put down a bunch of mulch and then have the mulch over the gravel and then have it just look awful in the spring. It's not gonna hurt me or her to walk up a driveway. We've actually gotten really strong, and it's pretty cool because we used to have to stop like 2 or 3 times to take breaks and catch our breath, and now it's like once. We stop once. So that is the bonus, other than if we have a bunch of stuff to carry up and down.
We call it a forced march, but we really
Yeah.
don't mind it.
We don't mind it. It's not bad.
It's actually, it's actually, you feel really good when you're all done. Well,
Mhm.
Kira's making a face over here, but I personally feel really good when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
man, look at me. Look how strong I've gone since I moved here in June,
Yeah.
July.
Yeah.
Like, I've got so much stronger, so it's
Exactly.
amazing.
I've enjoyed my lazy life, so I don't like the march. Like, let's go on a hike.
And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, she does not have a dog. I keep telling her that. She keeps saying she wants a puppy, and I'm like, nope, because you don't want to exercise it.
I will exercise my puppy once I get a puppy.
It's not how it works.
No.
You have to prove that you will do it beforehand,
Uh-huh.
before you get one.
For me, the worst part of that whole going up and down the hill is just terrible restless legs afterwards. Like, but
Yeah.
if I could control those, I would do it every day. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe I just need to do it in the morning and at
Yeah.
night. Let's see. Where are we at time? 41. Good. We're doing well.
Oh, sorry, yawning.
Rebecca said she loved the creative news logo. That was totally Heather.
Oh
It
my
did-
god. And we laughed so hard during editing, and
It did
when
seem very newsy. Like, we were like, oh, this is so newsy.
just the way we said it was like, take it away, Kimmy.
And I'm like, look at this hill. It's going crazy. La la la. Yeah, we sounded like a news anchor there. So,
We were laughing so hard. That was so funny.
oh, yeah, that was a
So
lot
we
of
should
fun.
get a little microphone and be like, okay.
Exactly.
But thanks, Rebecca. It was totally Heather, though. I want to take credit for that. She was her. Let's see. Da-da-da. Okay, a couple of you guys have talked about the sound and having a hard time hearing the dialogue over the background music.
So when I'm editing, I will turn the music down as low as it can go in the editing background. So I can't lower that anymore. And there really is this fine line. So usually if you don't hear what I'm saying, it's just because it doesn't matter and I haven't raised the voice. So I'm not saying anything. When I'm editing, sometimes I cut things up so the sentences won't work, but I don't want to just sit there with my mouth moving and not hear that words are coming out. So if it's not important and it's just, hey, hand me this or that or whatever, and it's not something that really needs to be heard, if that makes sense, then I don't turn that up. And I do try to go through and Kim wasn't talking for a long time because of how loud it is, because she's right behind the camera. And we've thought about doing the microphones. I've talked to a couple of people that have them, and they're a pain, especially if you're wearing a jacket or your hair rustles against them,
and if you're outside the wind.
and
like,
there's just
these
all
things.
kinds of problems. And financially, I just choose not to spend the money on that. I'd rather spend the money on products to build, or building stuff. So that's why we haven't done that. And I just said, talk, because I can lower it. And usually I get it lowered, and it works it out. Like I piece it out and I go through and I cut and I lower her voice to where it's the same. I guess in the last couple of videos I have not.
To be fair, she's been sick and maybe her hearing's not quite the same.
is
And
tricky.
we got the heat running a lot more inside, which does make a lot of noise.
Yeah. So I just need to get a really good set of headphones that Bluetooth to my computer, and then maybe I can pick up on those things better. So, but I will try to do better, and I apologize for blasting your ears.
Yes.
Because that's not fun, and I've watched videos that do that.
Yes. Terry says we need a plastic toboggan, which we actually do have a sled given to us by Catherine.
Yeah, so
And we use that going up and down the
we
hill.
do. And Kira used it for moving all the firewood. It worked really well, and we've used it going up and down the hill a couple of times.
Sorry, Catherine, we haven't used it quite as a sled just for us to ride in yet.
Yeah, we haven't done that.
We'll do some fun things.
And we haven't
sometime.
really videoed using it up and down the hill because it's really hard to video and walk up and down that hill
Yes.
with it being a sheet of ice. So, sorry.
Yeah,
but we
use
love it. So
Yes,
thank
we
you. And
do.
we use it. It's great. Oh, and Carrie used it to move hay from where we have all the hay set up over to the barn. So it's been really, really nice.
Okay. So Mr. Bates wants to know if you're planning or if you're leaving room to be able to shut the doors on the
Yes.
shipping container.
Yes, the doors can shut. That wall is scooted in, and there's actually an inch left for the siding. So it should definitely close. I want them to be able to move and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it can. They can. We'll show you. We'll show you in a video.
And there was somebody else that was talking about making an extension in the kitchen, and that's actually a great idea.
It's a great idea if this was my forever home. It is not. I do not want a bigger kitchen than that. The end.
And I'm thinking, that would be cool. But it is, yeah. It's Heather's little.
It's not.
It's a guest quarters.
It's a guest house. It's a
kitchen.
possible extra canning kitchen.
Yeah.
Holidays, you can always use an extra wood stove or whatever to cook in when you're cooking a big meal or whatever. We do a lot of church functions, and I can't wait till the day everybody gets to come up to the house, and there'll be extra space for that. But no, if I was doing all of that, then I would have just built a regular house back there.
Yeah.
So.
Carol wants to know, what kind of chickens are those?
Those are Wyandottes, and they have multiple different colors of them. They're just so beautiful, but they are a meat egg layer. So they're fat and chunky and all of that kind of stuff. And they also do really good. Usually you get either or, a good egg layer or a meat chicken. And so this is a dual purpose, and they do really well in our climate.
She's talking about the black and white ones, not the brown guys.
Yeah.
The brown guys we kind of inherited, and we don't really know what they are.
No, they're a mix.
They're
They're
mixed.
all most of them are basically mixed.
Yeah.
But they are beautiful, and I love them.
They are part Americana, so does it have a little weird thing?
The brown ones? Yeah, we're not talking about the brown ones. She's talking about the white ones. Those are Wyandottes.
This one kind of has been addressed, I would say, but I'm going to throw it out there. Jean wants to know, how are you going to secure the window to the container
We're
frame?
not just going to let it be right like it is.
The window. He's not talking about the sidewalk. He's talking about the window, which you just showed in the video. So
Yeah, we just had that in a video.
you'll see it. You'll see
We're
it soon.
doing, right now we're in the process of doing a full series on the windows and the doors with the wooden frames. And we're going to show you exactly how we do that. I did a ton of research. I'm not a welder, and I did not want to hire a welder to come out and weld. I just did not have the money for that. So for probably the last few months, I've been trying to find all the information that I can that made sense, that I thought looked the best idea for wooden frames on a shipping container. And this is what I have found. And it took probably 2 hours to get Randy on board because he just did not understand what I was talking about. So
I don't think he really wanted to sandwich it.
He did not want to sandwich it at all.
way.
He did. He wanted, and we still have to go through and spray foam all the way around it and caulk all the way around it, and then that frame will have to be painted to protect it from the weather. But that's just like you would do with a regular house, with a regular wooden frame. So you treat it just like you would a regular house once you've created that hole. So, but we are putting together a whole series on doors and windows, hopefully this week if I feel good enough to get out there. I've been trying to get out there and do, at least enough for a video.
It's tough when you don't feel
It's really
well.
hard, yeah.
Catherine King also asked about the chickens and what kind they were. So thanks for the question,
Yeah.
Catherine. Brenda, we love you, girl.
Hey,
she
Brenda.
says it's so nice and bright in there.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice.
It is so much better. It's so much easier to video.
Yeah.
When you have some good light.
Well,
light.
the light's great, but there's still like no room.
Yeah, no room.
That's hard to
No
video
room.
in. We were just having that conversation this morning because I was editing the second half of Friday's video that went out. And it's just, there's nowhere to stand. So you get a lot of my back. Sorry.
Yes, I'm not trying to focus on her backside, really.
Just gonna say my hair looks really long. Tomorrow's video. You'll get it.
You will. Jeremy wants to know, have you been through the spring thaw? Do you know how bad the mud's going to be?
So I have, because I wintered over last year. And because I'm on the top of the mountain, it's actually not that bad. It drains off and dries up, and then you have moon dust. So that part's no fun, but
it's terrible.
I have not been in this section of the property, so driving on it. Last year I just parked at the end of the gravel and then walked wherever I needed to be. And it was a very short, I would say like a week of mud, and that was about it because it dries out.
Good.
So it's not bad.
It's one of the reasons I got the tires I got.
Yeah.
So, mud and snow and
Right.
all of those things. So.
And we have the skid loader. My son can come up and fix any damage that the truck does to the driveway area, ruts and such. What else we got?
Let's see. You were going to talk about the plans for insulation on top of the shipping container.
I was.
Yeah, it's on my.
So we're putting, I can't remember on the actual
Talk
shipping
about
container.
why we haven't
The roof.
insulated the roof.
Why the ceiling has not been, the pink insulation has not been on. First off, we made a decision to, we were able to get Randy's help during a specific time. So we stopped insulation, and I had some anxiety about cutting that hole. I don't like cutting the holes. You can't take those back. So I just wanted to kind of have him there to make sure that we did it correctly, and I did it correctly. And so we stopped on insulation, but I've also been doing a lot of research about the sweating of the walls, the sweating of the containers. I've talked a lot to Randy about it. And I think what we've decided to do is, because we're decking the whole top of the shipping container, we're gonna spray foam on top of the shipping container, which will bring that dew point up above it, so you won't have the sweating in the ceiling. The other thing is it's a wood stove that we're heating with, so that's gonna, that dehydrates. You usually need a humidifier, so we probably won't have a sweating issue anyway. But that will give us the ability to keep the ceiling up really high. And most likely what's gonna happen is the wires, the electric wires are gonna run up there. That's what I've seen a lot of people do. Because again, you're doing trying to do as skinny of a wall as you can. We're doing 2x3s for framing so that we have room for a little bit more insulation since it's so cold where we are. But then we'll run the electric up top and drop it down into the section that we need it to be in.
Right.
And then we can put the little bit of insulation up there. But that keeps, we can do a couple of things. I'm still doing some research, but we can glue the 2x3s to the ceiling. We can turn them so it's just a 2x3, but it's all the way up to the top and it's still glued. But then you have that 3 inches to be able to pull down. So there can be 3 inches of insulation there, plus insulation on the top, on the outside, on the roof. You know, so those are things that we're working on. The walls where we put the insulation at have not sweated at all. So
no,
just
the ceiling.
Just the ceiling.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm pretty confident with what we're gonna do. Obviously, spray foam insulation on the inside of the shipping container is literally the best. And the reason why that has not been done is because it didn't get done before we started. And when the temperature has to be, best is if it's like 70 degrees outside. Well, we're not going to get that till next summer. So if we waited on that, we would be waiting for everything because we can't just build. You're trying to create that envelope. So having that pink foam insulation put up, taped, sealed, all of those things, you've created that envelope, and then we're going to build the framing in front of that. So it's freestanding framing. which is what will end up holding up that end wall, because that's been brought up a couple of times too in the comments.
Yes.
It will be attached to that, and then those will all be attached, and it'll be just like a regular house on a slab thing. I mean, you don't have walls holding that up. You don't have anything to hold that to except for to itself, and that's what will happen. And that's the less holes that you poke into the actual shipping container, the less issues that you have with water getting in and creating all of those problems. So no, I did not screw that to the metal container, and no, I'm not going to. I'm going to connect all the wood together, just as you would in a regular house framing situation.
Yep.
So what else you got?
Just wanted to talk about, we've had some of you write in a lot of good stories about what happened in the past,
Love those.
and we love them.
Yeah, those are great.
You know, Daniel Skinner just wrote something on here, and I know there's a few more of you guys, and I just wanted to say I really like it. So
we love the stories about back in the 70s and when, you know, you guys did stuff. It's just really cool.
I think Sherry Peck shared one too. So
yeah.
Thanks so much.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time to comment. It truly helps out the channel, but it lets us get to know you. Because you know, you guys kind of know us because you watch us all the time, but we don't know you. So that's how we get to know you, is through the comments that you leave.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Let's see.
So we are going to be doing a kind of like a 5 things you didn't know about me kind of thing. Each one of us will do our own. So if you have a question, maybe for one of us or whatever, or for each of us, drop that in the comments below, but do it at the end of the video so that it sticks with the video, and maybe we'll be able to answer that in that particular video that we do. We know that you guys have a lot of questions about who are we. We get the how are you guys related question constantly. Did you find one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just filling space.
Well, Randall's really worried about us having glued the pink insulation to the wall.
Okay, so again, that pink insulation, I know that the freezing and whatever and the moving of the stuff, and it's gonna pop off, but it doesn't matter, because by the time all of that happens, that wood frame is going to secure it to where it needs to be. The only thing that glue is for is to hold it in place until the framing goes up. Because we're not getting this all done in 3 days, it would fall. If we didn't have something to put on there, it would just all fall. So
that's why it's there.
This way, it's just tacks that into place. That's all that's for. It doesn't have to hold it there forever.
Wade is concerned about the 36-inch counters. He wants to know how tall the cabinets are going to be with or without the counters.
So average countertops, we'll measure these here in church. I didn't bring my tape measure. Is 36 inches. And I measured the stove that we just bought, and it's 36 inches to the top of that, and minus the part. So there's enough room in there for the 36-inch cabinets and like a butcher block top or a concrete top. Those are the 2 that I would like to do for the countertops. So that's average. That's what's basically code everywhere else. That's what you can purchase when you're at a store. Otherwise, it's a custom-made size. So.
And what are the plans for the countertops? I know that question's been asked.
Either concrete or butcher block.
Or a combination.
Could be a combination.
Who knows? Mike is worried about you using a hammer and nails in the windows.
I did not break it.
Thanks, Mike, for being worried. But it worked out. Oh yeah, it was Renee that wanted to know what type of counters were we gonna have. Sorry, Renee, I got a little ahead of your question. I think we have more questions about Sybil wanted to know if we're gonna take the doors off, but you addressed that earlier.
We're keeping those on. I really like the look of that. I'm really excited about the sliding glass door going in. Randy's gonna have to come back and help put that up because that sliding glass door, it's an older sliding glass door that we got for free. And it's really, really heavy. And so I think me and Randy and Kira on the outside and Kim and Darla on the inside, we can do that. But we're gonna have to, we were supposed to be doing that today, actually, Friday. But I got sick. And so we just kind of put it off until I'm feeling better. So hopefully by next weekend, we'll be able to put that slider in, and then we'll be ready to connect the shipping container and the RV, because that's, and we were going to divide and conquer, and Kira was going to start putting the insulation in the wood section of the building, so the tree house and the living room. But again, because we YouTube, Kim cannot be in two places at one time, and I know it's like, oh, just set up the camera, but it's really not that simple.
I know I'm amazing, but not that amazing.
Unless you have like 2 or 3 cameras on somebody, and then the editing of that is really long. So, if we were not YouTubing this, then Kira, that's a job Kira can do very easily, put that insulation in, and that would be done. And there's like so many things that would have been done that way, but we are not doing that way because we're showing you guys the journey and we're taking you with us. So it has to be videoed, it has to be put off for that to happen. So, again, that's one of those things that as soon as we get done with the doors and windows, then we'll put in that insulation, because that's simple. We will have to pull it out to rerun the wires, but the wires are going to be a little, is going to be a little bit. So, it's just, I don't know. I just keep going back to that.
So we didn't really ask a question, but I think this maybe sounds like a question. He said, you forgot you have to put a double top plate for the window. Do you want to say why we didn't?
So again, this is not a load bearing wall. I talked to Randy about it before we put that window in, and I explained to him what the deal was. And there are two 2x6s on there that holds that. He said that would be enough. This is not load bearing. The purpose of a top plate is to connect your 2 walls together. So when you have your 2 walls like this, then this top plate connects to this one to hold those together and keep you square. And so since we don't have to do that, then we don't really need a top plate. That being said, we will probably connect them that way. We just don't have those walls done yet.
Yeah.
So
I think Wade's also concerned about the counter. There's a couple things on here. If the counter's only 36-inch tall, that is way too short for washing dishes.
Wade, you are on step 25. We are on step 3. Just saying, you gotta wait for those videos. You just gotta wait for those videos.
Danny and Ajit are always just saying hi or putting little faces. So hi.
Drinking your coffee in America, waving and watching us. We got you.
And it looks like we're
really at the hour.
At an hour. Simple reflections of Christianity. Thank you. She says you have a talent in video production.
Thank you. We study a lot. We there's a few channels that we watch for different things. Like we have obviously Lumna Acres. We watch for his building and all of the information he has on that, and Wild One for Off the Grid, and Good Simple Living, and Julie and Marty with Martin Johnson Off Grid. We watch things, we watch how they film them, and then we try to implement it, and that's how we've been getting better. I really want to start doing some skill share and just get better. But I like how the flow of our videos are, our banter and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to lose any of that. So, I mean, we're probably just going to try to get a lot better at, I don't know, B footage. I don't know.
It's kind of funny, like watching commercials. You watch a commercial and you're like,
yes.
Oh my gosh, you
how did
totally
you do that?
Look at it different now than you did before.
Yeah,
like commercials are never the same.
When you're filming when you're doing this as a living, you definitely look at everything differently.
You know, when we have more time, then we can do more fun videos and production. Like during the summer, we did some fun things with the truck, like. But you'll see more of that in the future.
Yeah, because we enjoy doing that. Yeah. And I really, really love editing. And so, and I do have a Canon camera that I want to take some classes on, because then we can get some really cool stuff with that too. And it's just been really hard with the the dust and all of those things. We haven't really used it. We've kind of gone to using the cell phones and the GoPro pretty exclusively on those. But yeah, we really enjoy doing all of that. So it's a lot of fun, I think, personally.
The last question I think I have on here is, why are we taping the windows, and if not, why?
What do you mean, are we taping the windows?
Taping the windows after we put it up.
No, because you don't want the tape on the metal. It's a little different with the metal. What we'll do is, so the 2x6s that are sandwiched together, you have the 2x6 that's sandwiched in the metal in between, and then you have the 2x on. Those will be. Sorry.
Siri's wanting to talk to us.
We'll caulk a whole lot around those, and then all the way around the metal to the wood. And that's pretty much how you do it, unless you're welding. So if you can weld, that's your best bet, weld. If you cannot, then this is the second way that you can actually do it. So like I said, we are doing that window and door series. That should answer all those questions, because we'll do a start to finish on everything. If we weren't daily vlogging, then you would get all the answers in one video, but because we vlog daily, you get what we've done daily. And then you get to see us come back and finish things up. So, but I think we've gone over the time, and I want to thank everybody for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. It helps us out. We're getting really close to 5,000. There was a glitch in YouTube system, and they dropped a bunch of subscribers, and now those, I guess you guys have figured that out and resubscribed, because we're back up to that place again.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're super close to 5,000.
Thank you for
share on, if you do social media, share, get people to come watch our shenanigans and build the channel and get it to grow and all of those kinds of things. And we just appreciate you a whole lot.
And we so look forward to the question and answer being live in the comments. So come and be there.
And be there.
Yes.
And we'll have a live video as soon as we hit 5,000 subscribers.
Yes.
So, all right.
Love y'all.
Good night.
Good night.